I have nothing to say, and I am saying it. If for no other reason, on the strength of that quote alone, I would have been interested in John Cage, the composer and musician, artist and philosopher, if you want to throw a bunch of titles his way. His mother was a teacher and his father was an inventor, and he said that he had them to thank for his life of discovery. I'm thinking about John Cage long after his death because a theater about a block away had this on its marquee: "Experience the music of John Cage." When people talk about Cage, one of the first things they ask or want to know is, was he making music? Is that really music? And I think Cage would be pleased with that question, because it is the one he was constantly asking on his voyage of discovery. His first works in the 1940s were made with what he called prepared pianos. He would lay pie plates on the strings, and that accomplished his purpose, distortion, but they moved, so he tried more fixed nails and wooden screws. From the outset, his compositions were born in chance and performed with an almost fussy insistence on precision and order. He and the dancer Merce Cunningham made a good team. He did a lot of work with percussion and blowing into seashells and lots of pieces using water in various ways. He had one, an electronic piece, using an amplified cacti and other plant materials, played by using a feather. The very oddity of it was part of the attraction for him. He said he was trying to overcome tradition and prejudice and the tendency to dislike something, especially something new, and thereby increasing the enjoyment of life by becoming more open. He said he wasn't trying to be funny, but if people laughed, that was all right. On the whole, he said, he preferred laughter to tears. He said that any sound could be music, and that he was trying to imitate nature in her manner of operation. The Zen masters call for what they describe as the beginner's mind. Try to experience the world with the beginner's mind, they say. And for me, John Cage exemplified this in a pure, often comical, and sometimes rather profound way, which could come off as, and be easily dismissed as, childish nonsense. He constantly risked being written off as a fake or a flake, not a serious musician. He was serious about not being serious. The highest purpose is to have no purpose, he said. And if something is boring for 2 minutes, try it for 4, 8, 16, 32. I confess that I jumped ship on some of his longer pieces, but being a modern man, I'm easily bored. One of his most famous works is 433. It's said that he composed it after seeing a perfectly white painting by Robert Rauschenberg. It's silence, nothing, for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Again, with the insistence on precision. But it is also more than that. You can find performances on the internet. Typically, the musician enters, bows, he's wearing a tuxedo with tails, sits down at a Steinway grand piano, opens the keyboard, and blows into a little tweeter to signal the beginning of the first movement. At the end of it, he tweets again and closes the keyboard. The second and third movements are the same, each time by a stopwatch palmed by the performer. As he sits, doing nothing, he may periodically and very delicately turn the score atop the piano. At the end, he rises, bows, and exits. As a theater performance, it's hilarious because of the expectations created by his get-up, the score, and the massive presence of the piano. In another piece, 12 radios are used to produce random bursts of noise, music, static, and chatter, and through it all the conductor is waving his baton as if he is thoroughly in charge of the delirious cacophony. Cage's influence is everywhere, and I will mention only one. Again, you can find it on the internet. It's a very young Frank Zappa, in a suit and tie, appearing as a guest on the Steve Allen TV show. And there he is there to play a bicycle, a musical performance. Allen goes along with it, also his studio band, and together they make spontaneous music accompanied by the bicycle, which is played in various ways, plucking, blowing, bowing. It's entertaining, surprisingly sonorous, and very funny. And if nothing else, Cage did say, quite emphatically, "I have nothing to say, and I am saying it." I find it interesting to listen from time to time to what he had to say, and how he chose to say it, that particular nothing.